Day in the Florida Keys. Going for a walk down a 7-mile bridge. You can hear the rails rattling from the wind. We were going to go to Robbie's, but the water is very muddy from the heavy winds the past couple of days of this cold front coming through. So no people, no fish, and clear water. So we're regrouping and taking a walk down a 7-mile bridge. It's about 49 degrees and it says it feels like it is 42. We were down in the 30s here last night. Feel like temperature of the 20s. Not cold compared to other places in the country, but cold enough for a South Florida person. But we have beautiful blue skies, partly cloudy. Maybe we'll bring some warmth to somebody through the video. We're down here in Alamorada, Florida. No, I guess we're in Marathon, Florida. Walking on the old 7-mile bridge, thanks to Henry Flagler. That is the new 7-mile bridge. I guess built back in the 80s, maybe. It's about a 2-mile walking bridge. It goes down to Pigeon Key. The background here, the rattling, that is the aluminum railings vibrating from the wind. See some of the exposed sandbars in the distance. Little islands that come and go depending on the tide. I think they just reopened this bridge about 2 years ago now. I know it's nowhere near as cold as other places right now, but it's quite chilly up here in the wind. I heard we had snow flurries in Tampa, and we had wind chill this morning about 21 back in Miami. So welcome everybody to 7-mile bridge walk in Marathon, Florida. Hopefully the weather will cooperate for next week and we'll get back to fish feeding. See all the sandy, milky color of the water. That's just all the sediments that are stirred up from the heavy winds of the shallow waters of the Gulf. 60 degrees in Jersey, my goodness. At least it's still positive degrees. It's when you get below zero, it's really bad. But you gotta stay inside. Dolphin, welcome. How are ya? Flawedness, I do feel your pain there in Jersey. Hopefully the snow's not getting to you there. Hopefully the house heater is working. Got some good jackets. People think I'm crazy, but I'll take the 100-degree summers here all day long over this. But amazing skies today. Amazing clarity. Beautiful blue. Yeah, the wind's actually, a lot of what you're hearing is the rattling of those aluminum rails there. They're vibrating when blown across the bridge. Unfortunately, you can't fish off this bridge. It's strictly a exercise or transport to Pigeon Key at the end. And unfortunately, with the wind so high and the water so cold, it's not really enjoyable fishing here right now. If this keeps up, it'll be like last time in 2010, we just go out with a net and start scooping up the fish. So the entire bridge, just over here, is continuous. It's just under 7 miles. They refer to it as a 7-mile bridge. This is the old bridge that was originally a railroad bridge, turned car bridge, back in the 1930s. It stopped being a train bridge, but this section here is 2 miles from the main island and Marathon to Pigeon Key. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. That island right over there, which used to be a base camp when they were building that bridge. They built a 7-mile bridge from 4 directions at once. The 2 main islands, and they also built it from Pigeon Key out each direction at the same time. Yes, definitely on the Florida Keys and the Marathon area. Definitely not China. We are in South Florida, the Florida Keys. I guess as far as Florida Keys go, we're about halfway to Key West. I think we're right around mile marker 50, somewhere in there. The Florida Keys are 106 miles, Key Largo to Key West. So we're just about halfway. Congo. No Congo. Marathon of the Florida Keys. Need to get back down to Key West. Haven't done one of those trips in a while. I have to go down there, do a walking and some data points history-wise on It's definitely hot down here during the summer. October is a great time to come down here. You're just at the starting of the cooling off season. October, November, and it's just when the snowbirds, not the snowbird, but the tourist season starts down here. August, September, it's very slow down here. I don't have that data point as far as how high the bridge is. I'm going to have to find out. There's kind of a reference for you. Car going by. Maybe about 30, 40 feet off the water. Yes, this is the bridge from True Lies. I think it was on the other half that we can't get to. It's a beautiful environment here, especially when the weather's calmer. The water can be crystal clear. You can see stingrays jumping. You can see tarpon. You can see sharks. Oh, we have the Pigeon Key train coming down. And and we are 0.4 miles into this 2-mile walk. I guess technically yes, but we're gonna need someone for hypothermia if I were to jump into the water. The water is quite chilled right now, and I'm gonna need a boat to pick me up. So it's a long walk back to land. Long swim too. That sea green effect you're seeing is the murkiness stirred up by the stormy weather we've had for a few days now. It's stirred up all the water out here in the Gulf. Kind of shallow water, mixed up the sediments, changing the color of the water. Here is a little train they got. Follow the Vision Key. They're actually going back to the parking lot to end that section of their tour. Depends on the adrenaline rush. You might make it. During a typical day when it's not so stormy, wind-wise and rough water, there's usually a dozen people out here fishing in their boats. You got great grouper fishing, tarpon fishing, shark fishing, all along here. So someone would not be far away. Let's see, I can't really go to the other side because the wind's too strong. Let's give it a shot. I think somewhere on these tracks, this rusted metal is actually the old train tracks. I don't think you really see it, but the date stamped on the track is 1911. So the railroad tracks, which are the guardrails from the old car bridge that now supports power delivery to the island, are from 1911, withstanding the salt air and the weather for over 100 years. Definitely no ladders every couple miles. Switch hands here. That hand's getting kind of cold. So it was late 1800s. Henry Flagler was building his railway from mainland Florida down to Key West. I believe it was 1925 was the big hurricane that came through and washed out his train system for the final time. I think he got hit by 4 different hurricanes while building, and that was the final straw. They gave the right of way of the tracks to the government, and then they built land. Why is the water green? Okay, the water is milky-ish green color because that is all the Gulf out there. All wraps around to the Everglades, up around the tip of Florida. This is all fairly shallow water. Lots of sandbar there. So what happens is with the heavy wind, splashing, heavier currents, it mixes up all the sediments and the light sand into the water column from the sea base. A lot of this water is only, obviously there, no depth at all, to a few inches to maybe a few feet in the deep areas. So it mixes up very quickly and pushes it all out into, all the way out to the ocean. Once the winds stop, all the sediments will settle back down to the bottom. Like if you ever come down here and want to go on a glass bottom boat ride, try to make sure that they've had semi-decent weather for a few days and your experience will be much better because the water column will be less floating sediments. All the way from Homestead, welcome. That's a little town there that has had drastic changes in the past 15 years. Becky, you're welcome. Big Warren, it's a beautiful place down here. You're lucky you also live so close. Welcome to the Florida Keys, yes. Not too far from where I'm at, obviously, because I'm in the Florida Keys here. Yes, you guys are crazy with this cold weather. All of Florida is just not ready for this. We do normally go to Ravi's to feed the tarpon every Saturday or Sunday, depending on personal schedules. So if you see we are down here and you happen to be in the area, feel free to stop by. If you're close now here, but run into you, it'd be great to meet more of you each time. What is the temperature? Okay, when I got here, it was 50. You're in Orlando, you're right just above freezing. So it was 49.50, and they said it felt like 42. I live just above Homestead, and it said it was in the 30s this morning, 36, with a wind chill of 21. I know it's nothing compared to what was in New Jersey. I was reporting at 6 degrees at this time. I saw a lazy lab rat. Alright, this is technically a bridge. It was originally built by Henry Flagler's team back in the 1800s. It was used as a railway after 1935. There was a hurricane. 1925 was a hurricane. Blew apart his tracks on the land. The bridges were all way overbuilt. They survived. And they donated to the government. And for many years, until about the 80s, I believe, this was actually a 2-lane highway. This was the only artery to the Keys other than a boat. That is all ocean water. Out that way, we're looking at the Atlantic, the Gulf Stream, and then the Bahamas would be miles out. Over this side is all the Gulf, and Everglades back that way towards mainland. Obviously Texas and Mexico are up that way somewhere. No problem, Lazy. It's actually a great book. If you enjoy history like that, it was called Last Train to Paradise. It really gives a lot of history on the Keys, how they were built. Amazing dedication. I mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it again. This bridge was actually built from 4 directions at once. The new bridge, one of the modern technology of pieces, and they just built it as they went along. Basically 7 miles of continuous bridge. This bridge has a small island in the middle called Pigeon Key. This section of the bridge is 2 miles long. So they started from that part of Marathon, building this way. They started on Pigeon Key, building this way, joining these two sections of the bridge at one time. Then they started from the other side of Pigeon Key, which is the one that someone mentioned earlier about seeing on True Lies, that they show them blowing up. And it heads to the other side of Marathon, which has a 7 Mile beach bridge and a few other things. Trayvon, you're an island, I guess, biologist? Hello, thank you. Definitely having a great day. LTD, I would say in my eyes it is extremely cold. Even though it's getting warmer, it's supposed to be about 49, 50 degrees, they say, but a 41 degree after wind chill. Woke up to 36, 37 degree with a 21 degree reported wind chill factor. Yeah, that happens a lot down here with the storms. And there's mixed emotions with it. Very dangerous to stay on these islands because they do get fully submerged with direct hits of hurricanes. You lose a lot of lives. The reason why some people gamble on it is if you leave your home before the storm, you're not allowed back into the Florida Keys until they open the main highway. So their fear is if they leave their home and it's not that bad, they won't be able to save anything. I think Irma was our last big storm here, and it was still about another 30, 40 miles south down in Big Pine. We'll have to go explore that island one of these days. That's where we have our localized key deer. They're little deer about the size of Great Danes. And they had full island coverage there. And that's where you've had houses that were basically fully submerged. But that big storm that did the most damage was, I believe it was 1925. I don't remember the name right now. It's one that washed the steam locomotives off the tracks. Dozens and dozens of bridges down here. They're all made by Henry Flagler. There's still many that are still intact. There's only one that his team did not build. It's in Bahia, Honda. I've heard it referred to as a camel hump bridge. And they subcontracted that one out for speeding up the production of the train tracks. But I believe he had one hurricane that hit him 1800s that stopped him in Key Largo, another one here in Marathon, a third one that affected him just outside of Key West, and the fourth one is the one that shut him down. Norm, welcome. What time do I have? It is 1:40 p.m. right now here in Alameda, Florida. So when you go on these walks, bicycle or running, walking, if we're going towards Pigeon Key, we're 0.9 miles into the walk. And on the way back, you've already done 1.1, so we're almost at the halfway point. I know I should be on the other side of the street, but the wind is too severe there. You all will not be able to hear me. So you can't fish off this bridge. It's one of the few bridges you can't fish from when they're recreational. There is, you can't see it right now, but back at the beginning, there's a seawall protecting the edge of the island that people fish from all the time. But this here is strictly a walking, bicycling. We have one trolley that's 4 pitch and key that we're halfway to now. That's its only purpose now. But down below, get here by any kind of boat you want. Great fishing. Sharks, grouper, tarpon. Typically this water is very clear. You can't see the bottom, but you can tell it's much cleaner. When we get to Pitch and Key itself up there, so obviously you can't swim right here. There's no way to get in the water. But just the other side of 7 Mile Bridge, there is 7 Mile Bridge Beach. So there are not resort style beaches along the Keys, but there are several swim spots. Several other places you can stop on the side of US 1, the main highway in and out, that you can go swimming off of the small islands. I would not recommend it right now because our water is very chilly. Maybe with a wetsuit. We have very low visibility because the heavy wind's been stirring up the sediments, causing this greenish, milky color. Let's see if I can get you the lighthouse here. There it is. So that lighthouse is marking a reef. We have one of the largest barrier reefs. It starts up in Miami and it comes all the way down through the Keys. So I guess it's well over 100 miles of barrier reef. Endless snorkeling and scuba trips available for all kinds of different reefs. Now it's fishing season, well, shrimping season, where our bait shrimp will start to migrate in the evenings. So if you can endure the cold, come out here by bridge or boat and catch them by net. 12 a.m. in India. Thank you for being up for us. Germany, 7:41 p.m. Wow. What a change in times there. We got 1:40 here, 7:40 in Germany, and midnight in India. Pretty cool to hit all these time zones at one time. I do greatly appreciate that part of technology. Anybody gonna be in the Florida Keys coming up in about 3 weeks? We're gonna be hanging out at the Alamorada Nautical Flea Market. Anything and everything, boating, fishing, beach related, coastal related, will be at the Founders Park in Alamorada. I'd love to meet more of you if you're in the area. We'll be at the main strip in. Island Flow is the name. For this bridge, 7 Mile Bridge, I believe we're about mile marker 50, but for Founders Park, I believe that's mile marker 80. I want to say around 80, 82. Because Robbie's is at 77.5, and it's just a little north of that. Always a great time. Usually have some kind of music, lots of food trucks, everything from clothes to fishing rods and reels, to boats, to antique nautical equipment. I believe it's the weekend after the holiday. That's Saturday and Sunday. Friday we're down there setting up, and then Saturday, Sunday we're there to hang out with everybody. Welcome, France. Your weather is a little better than ours, temperature-wise, but it might be about the same. We have some amazing skies today, though. Clear blue is amazing. Just to help you understand a little bit more, too, of the watercolor today. See that little exposed island, like a sand mud bar. So when it's shallow, this wind's whipping across, creating a bunch of little waves, stirring up all the sediments been settling there for weeks and weeks, and it gets just dispersed. And there's hundreds of those little sandbars across the Gulf, close to the mainland. So we typically are at Robbie's on the weekends, but you would not be able to see the fish today. And there was just really nobody there. So we decided to come out here for a walk on the old 7 Mile Bridge. I am one of the few that's a local from Miami, Florida. A true local. I spent quite a bit of time down here in the Florida Keys. Well, I basically lived in Miami, Florida my whole life. Keys diver, welcome. Sounds like I'm in your backyard right now. This water clears up pretty soon. We get beautiful skies. Yes, Florida. Sorry, I keep forgetting that little detail. South end of Florida, the big city of Miami, but we were on the outskirts, just above Homestead. Rare Floridian, born and raised in Miami. Watched all the changes happen, or at least 2/3 of them, I guess. Lots of changes over the years. Great talking to you too. Love to meet you in person someday. So the other thing we'll do too once in a while is we do coastal beach walks over on the west coast near Fort Myers, Sanibel Island area. We go over there, we check out the beaches, we do some coastal exploring as far as looking for shells, ocean life. You never know what you're going to find over there. Well, Andrew absolutely made a huge change there. Went through that one for sure. The time here right now is 1:50 p.m. This is a very, very nice, beautiful place. The only time it's not cool is when it's gonna rain when you're in the middle of this walk. This is a 2-mile walk down an old car bridge that originally was a train bridge for Florida East Coast, Henry Flagler's project. Mainland Florida, Miami, all the way down to Key West. I remember riding my bicycles through farm fields. Now those farm fields are full neighborhoods. Remember watching movies in the old mall that's now being torn down for condos. Other old farms and buildings that are now being turned into townhouse sites, apartments, and everything else. Sarasota. Great fishing from Sarasota. Oh yes. Even this bridge here, one lane each way, definitely no shoulder, and some of your big cars and trucks would hit mirrors. Definitely nerves of steel to drive on this road back in the day. Netherlands, welcome. Yes, we're in Florida. Sorry I'm missing some of these comments. I'm trying my best here. We're in the Florida Keys of Florida. In Alamorada, not Alamorada, we're normally in Alamorada, sorry about that. We are in Marathon, walking on the old 7 Mile Bridge. Just to my left is the 7 Mile Bridge from about 1980s. It was amazing when Henry Flagler had this bridge built for his trains. They actually found a ratio of how strong they had to make the pillars to last the erosion till the ocean would build up coral and calcium buildups to counteract the erosion. So they overbuilt it just enough until Mother Nature would actually rebuild the bridge for them. I've only seen one actual launch. It was by accident. We were coming across I-75 from the west coast to east coast of Florida and happened to see the amazing launch. It's a unique launch for sure. We have seen several times from both South in Miami near Homestead as well as the Keys. You'll see the distribution of the Starlink satellites. So we're just far enough away from Cape Canaveral that you don't always get to see the launches except for on perfect days. From I-75, Alligator Alley, you're just close enough on a good day you can see it. But from Miami and the Keys, it's got to be a perfect day. This guy is absolutely amazing today. Let's look at the weather. And I saw the clouds build up yesterday, so I was afraid it's going to be a complete washout, but absolutely amazing. I felt I would do this, hopefully bring some warmth into some of the people up north who are freezing in their homes. Take the East Road on Sugarloaf, curve and look to your left. I will have to do that. I will definitely put that on my list of places to go explore. I'm not sure it's going to slow this up. See, we'll leave the non-coastal vibe talk out of this for now. Enjoy these calm, clear skies. We got about a half mile and we're going to be on Pigeon Key. That is the home base. The original building crew. From when they're building this bridge for the train tracks. They still do tours down here daily. You get on a train that passed by earlier. Basically a converted Jeep with a trailer. Once you get down onto the island, they will take you around and tour you the different buildings. Some are original. Most have been rehabbed over the years. And when it's calm, there's a beautiful, like seagrass, not a reef, but kind of a reef because there are coral heads around. But it's only about 1 to 2 feet deep, all the way around the island. You see all kinds of cool animals, whether it's sharks, stingrays, big crabs. They do summer camps here for kids. A lot of cool stuff. I mentioned it earlier, these old guardrails here are the old train tracks, and there's many of them that are dated 1911. The rattling you're hearing in the background is the wind whipping through the aluminum handrails. I guess they're doing that so that people don't affect the old steel train tracks. Probably a little right as far as the rodeo goes. There is a big group there, but there's also a large group of people that are just hiding out today. It is not great boating weather. 49, 50 degrees. It's got to be 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds. You got whitecaps out on the bay. It's not enjoyable. Actually, off-season is summertime, believe it or not. If you're from Miami or South Florida, you think of summer being our on-season, but the Southwest Florida and the Florida Keys, they start as the snow starts falling. That's when everybody comes down here and they pay top dollar for their RV slots, top dollar for hotel rooms, top dollar for rentals, and it goes all the way through about Easter. So it's usually right around Christmas. Start coming down, and everybody's down here until April-ish. May it starts getting warm, and everybody starts going back home. I'll agree there's less than normal, but there's still quite a few that refuse to stop. I've met several people that haven't been home in 3 to 5 years. They got themselves a nice RV, they work remotely, and they just cruise. You might notice we were over on Sanibel Island yesterday, and during the summer you can walk into any restaurant you want, no waiting. Now the parking lots are getting full. There's a wait time. Yes, your neighbors. The ones I feel a little bad for today are the pelicans. They're not getting their free food at Robbie's. Getting their hand out all day long at Robbie's. Stealing from the tourists, stealing from the tarpon. They're all on a diet today. Tween water is beautiful. There maybe 8-9 months ago, I stayed at a place called Shalimar or castaways. And now we're entering into a project that's going to be on Sanibel Island itself. We'll be showing everybody here in a couple weeks, just trying to get some final things ironed out. Another cool place to grow up, Melbourne, wow. A little too chilly there for me in the wintertime, but great atmosphere. We're getting close. I actually like to know how many started from the beginning of this walk and are still sticking it out with me. Let's see, we're going to go with our mile marker again. I did a little bit of work in Melbourne. I worked in Fort Pierce for a few years. I went to Melbourne area for hurricane relief. So we've got 0.2 miles left of this bridge walk. Retired in France, nice. Apparently you found a place that you like a lot. I know some people love France. I got actually a guy at work, he likes to go to France a couple of times a year. He goes over just for the weekend. Here's one of those exposed sandbar beaches. Yeah, France has got its own kind of seafood. The cold water fish is actually a little more flavorful, but you have more variety here for sure. Way different flavor. Everything is a bit further than the Keys, yes. So those exposed grass flats, sandbars area is what's causing this murkiness. They're scattered all across the Gulf. And as the wind was whipping across, the waves were disrupting the sediments on the grass, causing the murkiness now. Actually, it's not too bad in the shallow water. Lots of turtle grass. One of the few areas where seagrass is still very healthy. See all kinds of cool animals here when the weather's calm. See some sponges, sharks, stingrays, see giant hermit crabs. It's a little better up here. Do it from the bridge down. Look at the Pigeon Key here. I am from South Florida, Miami. Tiki bar. That one's like world famous there. Still to this day. My biggest one was back in Miami off of Elliott Key. So this morning it was in the 30s. When I got out of the car here, it said 49, but it said wind chill of 41. Absolutely. Tiki Bar was definitely the place to be every weekend. Just too windy to be over there. That was the party spot. That's another one that's changed so much in the past 15-20 years. So they do have city power coming out to them, but they have a generator on site just in case. live of the actual tour. But this here was one of the rooming houses. It's still original. One of these was the cookhouse. Lots of great history here. Yeah, missing the old days. I saw a great shirt while we were on a cruise a couple weeks ago. It said there are no more the old days. The old days aren't coming back, basically. We must adjust and adapt. So they keep patching and maintaining these things. I think they got a crew that lives here on site. They have research teams here. For the migrants to come over. This year. Exploring the tide pools. I apologize for the wind. I was trying to show a few things there. See if we can do a little bit if they've locked it up. This in front of us, try to protect from the wind, is that half of the 7-mile bridge that they actually used in True Lies. They cut out big sections from it so that nobody can pass through anymore. Just barely get 2 trucks down there without hitting mirrors. A lot of times they did hit mirrors as they pass each other. Let's see, I think they're closing pretty soon. They're not open too late here. Versus gift shop restrooms. I guess if I want to purchase anything or gift shop or restaurants, I need if I want to buy anything that I need to pay. We're just going to go look around for a minute. They do have great guided tours here. So I think way back I did a full live of the full tour. It's the lowest I've seen this water in a while. It's all your seagrass there that's exposed. But not to worry, as soon as the tide comes back in, it'll be fully submerged and back to life. Welcome, Maprafa. So their tour is basically a trained person here that gives you history on each of the buildings of the island. A lot of stuff I've been talking about. Show you how they were built, how they handled storms. They tell you about the different classes they have throughout the year, and it includes transportation to and from. A while back it used to be by boat, and now it's trolley. It took me a long time to actually stop by and do the tour. And at the end of the tour, they do a little fish feeding. They will put you on a tour list. They got, it's only really one vehicle. It's one fake train that comes down. Definitely a great place if you got the time. A lot of history. If you got the time to get the exercise in, bike ride or walk down the 2-mile bridge. If not, hop on the trolley and they'll take you down here. The doorways tell you what each one of the different buildings was. There's some artifacts. The name Pigeon Key actually came because this was a little island that had a lot of pigeons on it, and the workers were actually eating the pigeons to stay alive. Talk about rough times. I think it was a redneck pigeon or something. Hurricane history, the roughness of the building conditions between the houses, like that white one there, and they actually had barges that were just offshore that were just like not even rooming, they were just bunk beds. Dozens and dozens of bunk beds in a barge. Similar issues that they had in Panama with the mosquitoes and other pests. They lost lots of people due to illness. So if you notice, this bridge here is now blue all the way down. That was part of their rehab. It was actually cheaper to fully rehab the bridge than it was to demo the bridge. There's the old and there's the new. So they're able to stop all the corrosion. Each one of these pilings was actually a tall ship full of material. I believe he brought it in from Italy. It was a special concrete mix that was mixed with salt water. So not technically residents living here, but I believe there are workers that stay on the island. I believe there's a few research people that stay here. We've got a little dock over here. During the summertime, they do campsites. So picture like Boy Scout campouts, but probably for younger generations. And summer camps and stuff. So this side here is not really technically a active town. It's just all historical stuff now. But there is still a little cooking place and wherever they camp out when they bring the people here. Henry Flagler, when he had this bridge built, made it to last. They calculated the erosion rate to what the ocean would be replaced with calcium and coral growth, and that's why they decided to rebuild it. It would cost them more money to demo this bridge than to rehab it, which took them several years. I think 3 or 4 years. So there's one of the little meeting points for their lunches and whatever else they do. The other one that's been a real issue for them down here is the Bahia Honda Bridge. They've tried to blow that thing up and everything, and they just, back in the 1800s, it wasn't an engineer, they just built it. Bangladesh, welcome. I will screenshot this and check it out. I will check it out. Read the reference. So when the water's a little warmer, calmer, and a little higher, all kinds of cool animals throughout this tide pool area. Turtles, big fish, sharks, giant hermit crabs. The main island, not the mainland. We're far, far from mainland, but yes. I'll get a 4-mile walk in today for exercise. Share some great stuff with you great people. Hopefully it warms some people up. There's bad things that happen to those people that try to take the key deer. There's some cool animals, but they'll get you in big, big trouble. They're really cool deer, about the size of a Great Dane, I would describe them as. Most of the teenage ones are like just big dogs, maybe like a Labrador. Technically, mainland would be Homestead or Florida City, and that's about 60 miles. I'm just going to refer to where I'm going now as Marathon. And I want to say even Marathon Airport is in front of us. It's one of their towns here. So you got Key Largo, and you got Alamorada, Marathon. Big Pine kind of creeps its way in there, and then Key West. You have a couple other little townships and developments in between, but those are your main hubs. Keys Diver, you gotta get down to Big Pine. It's the only traffic light in the neighborhood. If you're heading south, make a right. Make sure you do the speed limit 25 miles an hour. Do not speed in there. Look around slow. And if you don't put your GPS, go to No Name Pub. You're guaranteed to see a key deer out there between US 1 and No Name Pub. And you'll have an amazing set of chicken wings or pizza. You'll be amazed by the wallpaper. Probably about $500,000 in dollar bills stapled to the wall. Best of me sometime, and maybe I'll meet you down there on a Saturday or a Sunday. Some people might disagree, but I would say that's probably the best pizza in Florida. They don't advertise, they just exist. Yes, you'll see them on US 1. You're probably going through Big Pine at the time. That's why they're real strict on the speed limit there. Like other deer, they just run out in front of you for no problem, and they're very protected because they only live on 1 or 2 islands. it's hard to see them sometimes is the heat of summer. They stay up in the tree area, so then you want to be there in the evening or just be a little more patient. But this time of year they should be out no problem. No speed bumps. That kind of speed bump is a bad speed bump. You're not supposed to feed them because they don't want them dependent on people feeding them, just like the manatees and the pelicans and all. But they're very friendly from people in the past, obviously, doing it. I did want to go to the boat races here, it just didn't quite work out. The boat races and the boat parade. I missed the boat parade this year. But I gotta get on my schedule to get down there for the Minimalist Regatta again. Here in Old Town, wow, you're a lucky guy. That's a special place to live. Yes, Mark, I'm gonna get a 4-mile walk in. Peaceful drive down here on the way down. No drama. Get a peaceful drive back up. You can't fish on the 7-mile bridge. My initial intent today was to come down to Robbie's and feed the tarpon. And the water was so murky, like you see here. Beautiful color, but you can't see the fish in it. And the wind whipping across the dock was only leaving about 4 people on the dock with their hands in their pockets. So there'd be zero entertainment for anybody. So a lot of my trips to the Keys are just to get out of the city life. A lot of times I use fishing for an excuse to be on the water. As soon as we start getting some more hours of daylight here, which are coming a few minutes every day, I'll start making more trips to Key West itself. We got a pretty big project coming up that you guys can be aware of soon if you're going to be following along and be part of the Island Flow crew. Be a pretty cool thing to follow along and see how it progresses. How are you? Fifth Avenue Boardwalk. Yeah, wow. Might have to try that surfing thing one day. I used to do water skiing and kneeboarding. Never get the right boat together for wakeboarding. And the surfing just never had the convenience to do it, and let alone most of the time when you have the best surfing weather is too cold for me. Back in the 60s, oh, those were good times, I'm sure. Just before my time of knowing stuff, but I get a good vibe from the times of the 60s. Yes, the time change opens up all kinds of greatness for everybody. I think we gotta wait till March, so about a month and a half, we'll be golden. And those of you still in here with me, I appreciate it. think it's about 3 weeks away. We have the Alamrada Nautical Market coming up. We will be there once again. We have for about 15 or 18 years now. No bicycle, just my feet. This was an unexpected trip. My original plan this morning was to go feed the tarpon, as we do just about every weekend. And the weather told me it's not going to happen. Let's go do a walk on the bridge. No bicycle, just my buggies, my left and rights. We're at half mile in, so we got a mile and a half to go if y'all want to stick around and ask some more questions and hang out with me. Actually, might have to cut it short a little bit. I got about 15% battery life. We'll see what we can do for you. My main intent on this was also to bring this clear sky for you. It looks warm, and it is warm for those that are up north in the freezing water, freezing air and water. The metal sound you hear is the wind ripping through these guardrails. It's got a vibration that the bridge is making along with the wind is shaking them. I think the wind chill here is low 40s. Air temperature was right around 50. This morning when I woke up just north of Homestead, it was a 21-degree wind chill. I think it was 36 when I went out to do my errands this morning. That's gonna be a cool train ride. European train rides sound amazing. The only two train rides I've ever been on was a commuter in Canada and a historical train ride in Germany. Bullet train, pretty cool. India, welcome. Appreciate everybody joining in, interacting with each other. Appreciate all the great questions you guys have given me. Gotta try to find that one spot with a buried road on another trip to get down to Key West again soon. But there is nothing like the Florida Keys water. Can't say it's the best because there's many that are close to equals, but it is unique. There's not many places that you have a 2-mile bridge. Get yourself a nice calm walk across the ocean. Sid, welcome. Hello, how are you? Mark, thank you. Let's see, give me another 100, 200 feet, I'll tell you. They got mile markers on the ground, let you know how far in you are. out here. Just a few actual locals that come out here for their exercise, or a few tourists that are going down to the Pigeon Key a little while ago for a tour. Definitely the cold weather is affecting a lot of stuff as far as activity goes. So we are coming up to 0.7 miles in on our return. So we have 1.3 miles to go. If you don't want to do any calculations, this is how far you've gone. That's how far you have to go. It does look like a never-ending road. 16 inches in Ohio, man. I feel for you, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Give you some warm, live visuals. Let you know it is better later on. Yes, this is the old 7-mile bridge. A water station would be nice. Bathroom break would be nice too. But plan ahead. Bring a water bottle and hold it. They actually do a 5K, not a 5K run, but they do a 5K and a 7-mile bridge run every year. That is a continuous bridge. And the hard part is a hump in the middle. So we got to do some research to find out how high that is. Little Palm Island, I think I've heard it, but I don't know where it's at. The island was Pigeon Key. Maybe it has separate names. The other cool fact for this bridge is on the other part that you can't get to by foot. Some of the locals do holiday decorations on it with solar powered lights. So if you happen to be down here during the holiday season, they sneak up on the bridge at night, set up their lights, put some solar panels and batteries. And there's a Australian pine that's been there forever, and his name is Fred. That tree is bound and determined not to go anywhere. It made it through all the hurricanes. Just growing right on the bridge flooring. Keys down. I don't know if you've ever seen that one or not either. It's pretty cool to see old Fred there get lit up every year. PT-109, I gotta check that one out too. Really cool to walk this bridge any time of year as long as it's sunny. No fun in the rain, but doable. On nice summer days though, you get the fish jumping out and big eagle rays jumping out of the water. I apologize if this thing ends on its own. We're down to about 10% on battery life, but we're going to give it all she's got. Appreciate all the new viewers, all the returning viewers. Oh, Fantasy Fest, that's an event all in itself. The uniqueness of an island. Glad to bring it. I said hopefully it warms some people up visually at least. Check out these pelicans real quick. Ride the air currents. What a life. Just stay away from the fishing hooks. Gamer, welcome. Y'all tagging along for this walk down the old 7 Mile Bridge. On our way back from Pigeon Key. We got 1.1 miles to go. All of them but one, and you've been as a dedicated fantasy fester. I think I've been going for, I guess, about 12, 15 years, but I can't make every one of them. Sometimes life gets in the way. I will check that one out too. First you did that, I just screenshotted that for you. Parents took you there as a kid, huh? That's got to be a unique experience. I think the best thing about that whole fantasy fest deal is you can be who you want to be and nobody judges. As long as you respect those around you, people let you do anything you want. Some pretty open-minded parents. That's pretty cool. Especially that last Saturday night. There's no rules. Just everybody have a good time. Be respectful. Originally, I used to do the Key West poker run from Phil Peterson's. That was another great 3 or 4 day Key West event. Extremely hot. I think that was mid-September. They did those. And that ended because of some dumb people partying too hard. And Hurricane Irma, I think, put a final end to it. Yes, this is basically the bridge from True Lies. It was not this segment we walked on. When I got to the end earlier, I did give you a view of the original bridge that was used on True Lies. Still hard to believe this was the main artery. Semi-trucks, passenger cars, all were driving on here daily. Yes. Oh yes. You would probably need one push with the skateboard and you're done. You got the win today for that for sure. I even remember the ones they had for a while. It was basically like a sailboard, but for a skateboard. Perfect environment for that right now. 2 mile stretch. Now, because you guys are talking about this True Lies so much, I'm going to have to watch that movie tonight. Got some research on 2 locations down here, and maybe True Lies for dinner movie. Mentions a lot. I wouldn't doubt it. at least in the 20s, maybe 30 today. Still find the amazing part of the Florida Keys. This area here is all sector area. Shallow, protected waters, lots of seagrasses. Then you come on this side, shallowish water. Then you get to the lighthouse, and you're on a barrier reef in the Gulf Stream, and then the Bahamas. Two such different worlds divided by a highway. On this side, snook, tarpon, redfish, black drum, trout. Come on this side, you got your giant grouper, got all your offshore fish, all your pelagics, mahi. Here it's not deep at all. Maybe 12 to 15 feet. So I'm on my return walk, and I'll update you that in a few minutes. We're almost to the next mile marker. The bridge is 2 miles each direction. It ends at Pigeon Key, and starting in the parking lot. I don't think Lake Okeechobee ever fully dried up. I know it gets very shallow or affected by drought. I don't think it's ever been fully dry. They do start controlling water management when we're in our drought season, which luckily has not been in quite a while. So there, and that's kind of why I'm doing this for you, trying to bring you some nice views for you. I do feel for you all. So we have 0.8 miles to go. We walked 2 miles the other direction, and now we made 1.2 miles going back. Oh yes, great fishing in Sebastian Inlet there. Groupers, if you get it right, you can get the big snook. Amazing ecosystem we have here in Florida. Not too bad at all. It's just the wind that's making it rough today. It's 49, 50 degrees. The high winds are making about 41. Do appreciate all the people hanging out still. Just let you know if we do end abruptly, it's not on purpose. I'm at about 6% battery. Anybody coming here want to do a drink or a meal after? At the end of this bridge, across the street from the parking lot, Sunset Grill. Great outdoor dining, fully covered by a tiki hut. They have boat docks, so if you'll come by boat, come by car. They also have a pool, so after a day of swimming and fishing, you can hang out in their pool and then have lunch or dinner. I greatly appreciate you having a drink for me. We're going to fishing tournaments this summer. I won't be able to attend them. I got too much stuff going on. But if you know something going on, contact me. Maybe I can come check out the weigh-ins or something. Here comes the Pigeon Key train going to pick up their last set of tours. Drop off a few while they're going. You're exactly right, 2%. Must be watching my phone. Yeah, as soon as I get back in the car, I will stick it on the charger. I am very pleased to be impressed with the amount of interaction. I thank you all so much. I actually wasn't expecting to do the trip at all, let alone round trip. So I thank you all for the encouragement to keep on going. Hopefully we gained a bunch of new members to the Island Flow crew. 1%. Pretty amazing we're still going. I appreciate it. Keep the watch out. And like I said, Alamrada Nautical Market will be there. That's Saturday and Sunday after the holiday coming up. I forgot the exact dates right now, but it's coming up. Definitely quite a few people on the bridge. It gets way more populated during the summer months, or at least calmer days. This is the longest 1% that ever lasted me. Definitely Keys Dyer. Gotta check out the Key Deer. Head over to No Name later on. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. If any of you all see that we are live somewhere and you're nearby, check in with us. We'd love to keep meeting more of our subscribers. At least we're getting close enough I can see the end of the bridge now. That Alamrada Market is an amazing event. We got a great spot that keeps cool from the shade trees and the field behind us. Amazing neighbors there. I'll make you all sick if I start sprinting. Too much bouncing. Unfortunately, there's no stabilizing mode when going live. And now it's gone into battery saving mode. It's actually turned the screen dark. I actually like the idea of sprinting because it'll warm me up. Once again, I want to thank you all. Really appreciate the interaction and the growth of the channel. Make the best out of the work, and we'll catch you on the next one. Said guaranteed Saturday or Sunday each week we'll be live down here in the Keys or coastline somewhere. Alright, I'm going to let this go before it causes an issue. I can't see any screen at all and don't want it to be in limbo. So, thank you all very much. We'll catch you on the next one.